What's up, guys? Welcome back. 2 days in a row. I know. It's like I'm actually trying again. It's amazing. Anywho, hope you all had a good day. Not a whole lot of badness going on, but here we are. Yeah. 50 chickens and a cat. It's my day today. Um, you never expect every day to play out the way it does when you get to look at it retrospectively at the end of the day. But here we are. No, it's a good thing. Seizing opportunity, I guess, is the best way to talk about it. So, delving into a little bit of the survival prepping, homesteading as a lifestyle, but for like a long-term situation. Seizing opportunity is something that you have to be pretty good at, and part of something that people don't take into account with those things is not just, acting in the moment. It's you spend a lot of time working on a certain skill set of whatever, we say starting a fire, you get really good at doing it in several different ways, and you have it. Seizing the opportunity would be, I found fire, or I found fire start, or I found something, you know what I mean? You get your plethora of items together to make your life easier as you go. But at the root of that is the skill set, and you have to know that you're going to be good at it and be a good steward of that. So, as far as seizing opportunity today is concerned, how did I end up with 50 chickens and a cat? Well, as you know, we raise a lot of animals here at the homestead, chickens being several of them, but you can always use more. We had a rough spring and summer this year. We found out a bobcat in the area. And by in the area, I mean at the neighbors. And by neighbors, it's like right there. Like could spit on their house from my house. They're that close. At least the houses are. And it's a very much older couple that live there, and they they do what we do. They have the weird overgrown garden in the back and all that stuff, and she feeds every stray cat she can find. Well, apparently, she has been feeding this one cat that is really mangy looking, and she's been feeding it for about 10 years, and you can know it's different because it's a little mangy, it's bigger than most cats, and it doesn't have a tail. Right? Yeah, I know what that is. Most people know what that is. It's a bobcat. I didn't want to believe it at first, but we started having a lot of our chickens go missing early in the spring and summer. Thought it was the raccoon problems that we had to deal with. Killed all them. Quickly, humanely, of course, but they had to go because they were threatening the livestock and the livelihood of us, and it could be a danger to, the wife, the kids, and myself. So, got rid of the raccoons, still losing chickens. Thought it was a hawk, had some hawk problems. Put up bird netting, still had a problem. Come to find out, come home unexpectedly early from a baseball game to get something because where we live, we're right up the street from the ball fields here in town. And, there's a bobcat sitting right in the middle of our backyard, right next to where the chicken pen starts. Didn't believe it. Talked to the neighbors about it to warn them. They're like, oh, that sounds like the cat we used to feed all the time, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, we lost a lot of our chickens is the end of that story. So we got a couple more, and through the process that we've went through over the past several months, as far as, getting the house in order, getting ready for the wedding we just had and everything like that. It was very busy, so we didn't really go full replenishment on getting chickens. Well, as you all know, the state of the world is a little less than ideal, to say the least. So everyone's worried about a lot of different things. And being prepared for everything is the best way to go. You hear rumors about food shortages. You go to the grocery store, and there's a lot of things that can be missing. Thankfully, it's been, mostly restocked, but it was kind of scary. But there's still people talking about food shortages based on the weather. We're supposed to have a really bad winter, so that means a long winter. So the growing season's not going to be good. The harvesting season had to be early, so that all trickles down to eventually not enough food to go around sometimes. But being prepared, and God knows what could happen given this, the whole election and everything in this country, let alone other countries that we trade with. So you don't want to go without, and I get it. So Every so often we end up at a store around here. It's called Rural King. It's your typical, country farmer sporting good type store. It's pretty awesome, actually. It's like stepping back into the 90s when I was a kid and being like, wow, this is nice. Yeah, but they sell animals, chickens and rabbits and things like that, and usually it's normal price. Well, for the last couple of weeks, I've really been thinking, like, dude, you got to get more chickens. You don't have enough. Like, we have enough for here, but if we really had to support our family, which 6 in this household, plus our extended family, so my parents, her siblings, my siblings, and things like that, people that are close by, that runs out real fast. And we went from what we should have had was about 100, 120 birds down to, I think, we're at around 30. Yeah, we lost a lot before we killed that bobcat. Frustrating. But we learned a lot in the process, thank God. Sometimes I think God manages things for us. That way we could get used to how to handle them and then just extrapolate that out. But anywho, I've been thinking, man, we really need to stock up on a few more things as far as, animals go. But I was like, man, it's just so expensive. If you get them where they're cheaper, it's $3 a bird. Well, that adds up really fast. I'm like, there's things that we need for the house or for the family or for the kids or whatever. It's like, I'll spend the money later. And I went this past Wednesday, and there was one of their tanks of birds says, oh, now 50 cents. I was like, what? Is that right? I looked in there, and there's quite a bit of the laying hens in there. And so I asked the girl that was working, and she's like, yeah, they're marked down to 50 cents. And I walked around, there's a couple other, and they also had a whole bin of meat birds, the ones that, you grow for meat instead of eggs. And same thing, marked down to 50 cents. I was like, okay, this has to be a sign. It's like, I'm always worried about the money. That's my last hang up on things of, can I afford to spend it? Should I spend it? Is it appropriate? It's like, all right, you've been knowing you needed to do this, and then it turns into, can you afford this? Well, you need it. It's there, which having them be in stock is not always a guarantee. So it's there. And the price is 1/6 of what it should have been. Time to do it. So told them I'll take all of them, which was funny. There was 18 of one and 32 of the other, so 50 birds. I always like it when it's a nice even round number. That's just cool. So Celia went this morning to go pick up all the birds and get a few other things, and managed to find a couple things on sale. So we actually, like I said when we were there, I said we just needed, which was part of our deal of why we hadn't got more anyways. We didn't want any more chickens in the house, to get them started, or in our shop that we just got cleaned out and set up, and it's real nice, and it's a good working space again. It's like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do it right. When we were at RK, Rural King, that's what we call it here, RK, I said, we need their setup that they have, which I kind of meant just like the feeders and the lights, the way they do it, but she took it as the whole thing. So she went and spent her time and found a deal on one of the actual whole tanks. So now there's like a 275-gallon stock tank that is got the right kind of pine bedding, whatever bedding stuff's at the bottom, with the rails and the hanging feeders and the hanging waters and all the birds right there, and with the lights, and it's just a done deal. Very easy, which anything you can streamline in your life to make it easier, simpler, that anyone can walk up on it and take over with almost no information, that's the way to go. And believe me, if a store is doing it for mass producing and it's not hurting anything, pretty sure they got it down. So try to mimic that. That's what we did, and so much nicer. So I'm glad that she took the extra time when she did today and got all that squared away. So that's how we ended up with 50 birds. Now, cat. I'm not against cats. I like certain cats. I don't like cats in general. They're smelly, they're mangy, they're not always friendly. Sometimes they can be a real pain in the butt. But every once in a while, you find a cat with just the right personality, just the right temperament, and just the right amount of cuteness. So we've had a farm cat that's kind of running around. He's kind of like an everybody cat of this area. Like, he goes to the neighbors, he goes to the road behind us, he goes everywhere. But, we feed it, we play with it, and Trinity, our oldest daughter, she's been asking for a cat forever. And she's like, maybe you can get me a cat for my birthday. So we had talked about it and thought, well, I'm allergic, Celia's allergic, but if you keep it clean, you keep it well maintained, it's not really that big of a problem. I've had cats before. So I was like, well, we'd have to find just the right one. And we thought, well, we'll try to domesticate and bring the every person cat, Jimmy, into the house. And that did not go well. I mean, we didn't tell the kids that's what we were doing. We kind of worked on it on our own, and it didn't go so well. And I was like, well, that's not going to be, so maybe we'll just have to find a kitten. I said, well, the right one will have to be presented to itself, like, because any cat just won't do. That can get you screwed. Sure enough, today, my brother, he was out walking the game reserves because tomorrow opens pheasant season around here, and that's kind of a tradition for us and our family. Gets out his truck, and there's this random little kitten comes hopping out of the woods, like barely old enough to be away from its mom. It's an adorable little thing, calico little cat. But he calls me up, he goes, dude, this is probably your cat. I was like, what? He sent me a video. It's like crawling all over him, sitting up like a parrot. It listens, you can talk to it, which I had a cat several years ago that I could have a full-on conversation like Han Solo and Chewbacca, like English and Wookiee, and it worked. But anyhow, that was that cat, and he thought it was this one, so he held on to it. And I said, well, if it doesn't run off and you think it's good, whatever, run it by my house. We'll take a look at it. Needless to say, just got back from PetSmart after buying everything that a cat needs with Trinity, and we have a cat. Happy birthday, Trinity. That's your birthday present, which she knows that. But anywho, it's cool. She works really hard around here and helps out a lot, and definitely has the ability and the responsibility level and understanding to be able to have a pet, especially one that takes a little more care like a cat with all the cleaning that's required. So no worries there. But at the end of the day, when I woke up this morning, did not think I would be ending my day with 50 chickens and a cat. So that brings me back to the seizing opportunity point that I wanted to talk about. You prepare a lot of things in life, you learn a lot of skills in life, but when it comes down to it, all that doesn't mean anything if you don't know how to seize the opportunity when it's presented to you. Meaning, that doesn't not just jump on anything because, oh, there's an opportunity for this. You have to be able to know, really, really know, you have the skills and the ability and the mindset to be a good steward of whatever is presented in front of you. That way, if you seize it, you're not going to waste it, squander it, or destroy it. So, taking on 50 chickens can be a lot, especially when you have to do that. But in all the different facets of it, it's not just, you have to purchase them, you have to transport them, you have to then get them home, set them up, keep them alive while they're going through their stages of growth, and then also affording all of that. And there's all those questions. But I have to sit back and go like, you know what? I've spent the last year of my life, well, preparing my whole life, and learning as I went, but the last year of my life specifically, really developing my skills as a homesteader and a farmer, as well as understanding how sometimes you have to walk by faith and know, you know what, I'm good, I make smart decisions for the family, and we do together with our finances, and knowing that, yes, it'll cost something if we do this, but it's not going to break us, it's not going to put us in debt, as well as we know how to manage it, and at the very end of the day, if we had to, we could turn around and use what we spent that money on to get the money back plus profit. That's what you got to do. So you seize the opportunity, knowing you have the skills, wherewithal, and ability to capitalize on it. Now, as far as the cat goes, well, it does serve a couple purposes. Nothing around here gets to stay for free. I better not see any mice in my basement. I better not see any spiders or snakes in my basement. Otherwise, evicted. I'm kidding. I mean, I better not see any of those things, but I doubt I'd get to kick the cat out if he wasn't doing his job. Just got to work him hard, train him. You can train a cat, believe it or not. Just got to find the right motivation, meaning the right kind of treats and temperament. But I digress. Seize opportunities as they come, because right now you're going to have to really know which one to capitalize on, which one is the right one. Because they're going to be flying around left and right. There's going to be a lot of people trying to make moves to get prepared themselves, being concerned about the state of the world, being concerned about the weather, being concerned about food and resources and God knows what else. But that's life. Just playing on a higher level right now, I guess. I don't mind playing on expert level, because if I'm on it, I must be one. At least we can sure hope. Try anyways. So, yeah, hope you're all doing well. In much better spirits today than I was the other day, as you can tell. Didn't get yelled at for my hat and my mask, but you just got to trust it's all going to shake out. At the end of the day, God's got it. Whether we understand it or not, whether we agree with it or not, that ain't up to us. It's up to us to have faith, and be smart, seize your opportunities when they come, because that's what heroes do.